Hello, welcome back to the A Plus U podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Johnson.
And I'm your co-host, Amber Shanley.
Amber was just commenting on the sunshine. And when you said that, I looked through this tiny little slot of a window and I'm like, the sun is not shining. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like you're just messing with me now, but that's okay.
Trust me, nobody wants the sunshine more than me.
I don't know if that's accurate, but okay. I'll win this competition, Danielle. Just don't even.
Is it a competition? I didn't know it was a competition. Seriously, when the summer comes, I'm like, don't talk to me outside. I have like a little shade protector for my computer.
Oh, I don't have that, but that's because I come in and hang out with our awesome members and employees most days.
Most days. Well, we are kind of carrying over our tradition from last themed month of April, Financial Literacy Month. And this month we're talking about small businesses. So if you didn't know, May is Small Business Month. And so we've brought in someone who knows a lot about small businesses, our internal expert, Jake Kuester. Well, Jake, we're so happy to have you. Thanks for coming in.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at Affinity Plus with our small businesses.
Sure. So I joined Affinity Plus about 3 years ago. I actually just celebrated my 3-year anniversary
Congratulations.
last week. Yeah,
Nice.
Thank you. So my role is Director of Business Services, is to really oversee everything business and commercial related for the credit union. So everything from our deposit products and offerings, our services, up through our lending, from the first credit card all the way up through a commercial building.
Wow. So if I were if I were a small business owner, I could come to you for a checking account and a debit card, or I could come to you and say, I want to buy a space for my business.
Correct.
And you can help with any of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about small businesses. It can be rewarding and a little bit overwhelming. So what are some of the biggest challenges you see some of our small businesses facing right now?
Sure. The most common question we get, the biggest challenge that we see is really businesses asking, how do I get started? Where do I go to kind of get the ball rolling? And the great news is that there's a ton of resources out there, and you don't have to do it alone, right? Take advantage of the resources that do exist. The first I would say is probably the Secretary of State website. There you can find information about, what do you need to do to file your business? Where do you get an EIN letter? What documentation do you need for your account? And they've got a lot of other great resources out there as well. Additionally, I would point people to the small business development centers. In Minnesota, we actually have 9 regional offices that are located throughout the state. And so not only is their website fantastic on providing a ton of information about getting your business going and started, they also have physical offices. So if you are looking to go in and talk to someone about starting your small business, that can be a great resource. And with 9 of them located across the state, there's probably one that's close by. The third place I would go is the Small Business Administration, the SBA. SBA.gov is the website for that. They've got a ton about starting and growing your small business. They've got videos, they've got tutorials, they've got a ton of resources about growing your business, securing government contracts. So that's really a great place to go as well. With the SBA, they also have a local office, district office right here in the Twin Cities. And they're constantly putting on trainings, webinars, all kinds of resources for small businesses to go to learn kind of what the next steps are in growing your business.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing is you use your resources, you kind of figure out how do I get established, I guess, essentially as a small business. And then you kind of have to think about the transactional pieces of it. And that's where someone could come to your team, Jake, and get assistance.
Yeah, and not just my team. We actually have individuals trained in most of our branches that are familiar with our business deposit products. So you can come in and meet with one of the trained specialists in the office. They know about how to get your membership established, can walk you through what are the best deposit products to open for your account, get you established with ordering your debit card, ordering your first set of checks, getting you into online banking. All the things you need, right, for your first small business membership and kind of, what's that very first step in establishing a banking relationship. Beyond that, we also have business specialists, right, that know how to kind of that next level with credit, and whether it's a business credit card, a business line of credit, a vehicle loan, an equipment loan, all the way up to our commercial loan services, where we can do, a first office building, an investment property, a small strip mall, if you were interested in purchasing something like that. Really, from top to bottom, whatever stage your business is at, whatever your business need is, Affinity Plus has a product or a service that would fit your needs.
So what I'm hearing too is that it's kind of like everything you would do for yourself as a personal banking member, flip it over and you do it as a business.
Yeah,
too?
Exactly. I think that's one of the things that Affinity Plus is so proud of is, these business members are also personal members within the credit union. And it's our responsibility, it's our duty as their financial institution to meet their needs. And if their needs are on the small business side, we need to be able to offer the checking accounts. We need to be able to offer credit cards, lines of credit, vehicle loans for their small business because that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what other products do we offer as for business members? Because it's not just the credit cards or the equipment loans. What's something that maybe stands out? And I'm thinking maybe more real estate.
Yeah, I mean, we can do pretty much anything from a commercial real estate standpoint. So like I said, whether it's your investment property, so you want to buy a single family home to rent out, a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex. If you want to, your business is an attorney or mental health, and you want to purchase a condo within a building and renovate it to meet your needs so that you own your building rather than having to pay rent on a monthly basis. Those are all options that we have. All the way up to large apartment buildings, industrial buildings, large commercial spaces, warehouses, storage units, all kinds of things commercial-wise. We can do pretty much anything. One of the more interesting ones that we did is a house that has a burrito shop attached to it.
I'm there.
My kind of house.
I know, right? Exactly. So it doesn't fit the normal idea of a mortgage, right, when you go in. But in the business world, that's absolutely something that we can do. So, in fact, a very successful burrito business, a very delicious burrito business. And that was a loan that we were able to get done for our members.
But I don't see samples for us to try. And so
our last guest brought
podcast
cake,
over.
So.
Did they? I was not informed.
I think I said that in the email. We accept gifts.
Yes, you did. Yes.
So really, we do, we have offerings from anyone who's maybe very small, just starting, maybe making something like soaps and selling on Etsy, to all the way to home/burrito shop. There's everything in the middle of that.
Everything in the middle. Yeah, you're exactly right.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's so cool. Because small plug, my best friend from college, she started a dog walking business. She's been a member with us since she's 16. And I didn't even know this. This was before I even worked here. And now she runs an entire dog boarding business. Her commercial loan is through us. And she's all kinds of a big deal.
So Jake, you shared about the home/burrito shop.
Yeah.
Maybe that is your most memorable business story. However, what's a business member that maybe stands out, or a story that really inspires you?
Oh, sure. So probably one of the most memorable businesses that I've worked with was a couple, a husband and wife, a few years ago that had worked for the state of Minnesota for 30 years. He worked in IT. She was in healthcare. As you can imagine, 30 years working for the same employer. They had a healthy retirement savings built up and could have worked the last few years of their career, gone off into retirement and been just fine. But that wasn't her passion. That wasn't her dream to just ride off into the sunset, if you will. Her passion, what she wanted to do was to start a daycare center. In her late 50s to open a daycare center offering quality care, quality education. And so it took a lot of planning, a lot of work, a lot of research, but ultimately she cashed in her entire retirement savings plan.
Oh my gosh.
And with the help of an SBA loan, we were able to help her get her daycare center up and going. It is thriving and succeeding today. And it's just such an amazing story. The risk, could you imagine getting to that point
in your life, right? You're like, yes, I did it. I'm here.
Exactly. The
Let's
American
do it
dream.
again.
Yeah. And then putting it all on the line to pursue that dream. And she's successful, right? Like that's the coolest part about all of it. I mean, it shows that it's never too late, right? If you have a passion, if you have, something that you want to go after, you can pursue it, right? It's never too late to pursue your dream of what you want to do.
Wow.
I think that's interesting because, to your point, I don't know if I could do that.
I don't know if I could work for 30 years
and then
start over.
Yeah.
Like literally start over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's inspiring. That is inspiring for sure. And especially like such like a noble profession, like working with children.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't that like part of being a small business owner? It's like you're doing something that you're super passionate about.
Yes.
Because if that passion's not there, maybe that wouldn't be as successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly why I love working with small businesses so much. I mean, I'm kind of a geek when it comes to small business. I like nerd out on some of this stuff.
I love it.
I've been doing it for over 15 years now. And it's exactly that, right? That the small businesses are so passionate about what they do. Whether it's a nonprofit looking to combat homelessness or a mental health provider or, any number of businesses, attorneys, trades workers, right? They're starting their business. They're taking that risk and doing something that they're passionate about, right? And in so many ways, I'm jealous. I come into my office every day and I collect my paycheck every 2 weeks, and these small businesses are laying it on the line, and it's recognizing that they're the lifeblood of the communities, right? And I think one of the reasons that small business and Affinity Plus partner up so well together is that passion for the communities that they work in, the passion for what they do, and Affinity Plus is here to help thriving communities. So it just goes hand in hand.
I met a member yesterday, actually, and as we were doing their transaction, they had shared, I'm my own accountant, and I'm my own boss. And I was like, oh, well, tell me more. And he's like, well, I'm a small business owner. And I was like, oh, that's great. He's like, yeah, I just chose to take today off. It's like, I worked on Sunday, so it's all right. And I was like, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. And he's like, I can now.
Yeah.
Not when I started.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what you're hitting on.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Like, they're the lifeblood, but it's not like something where, they get to set their own hours. They don't get to do an hour a day. They have to. Yeah. It's hard to get started sometimes.
Yeah. They're always on, right? Like they may say that they're taking a day off, but we all know that
he was totally on his phone.
On his phone, responding to emails. If that phone rings, he's still answering phone call.
Oh,
right?
For sure.
So,
but I think that's a good point, that kind of these small businesses are kind of the lifeblood of these communities.
Yeah.
And I almost think, even for myself, like take for granted that those small businesses, right? Like I think of, you go to the grocery store, and like grocery stores, while there are some mom and pop ones, it's usually a big one or something like that. But then you think about I think about going to buy like a gift for somebody. And I'm like, oh, I really want to go to that really cute store because they have all that really fun, unique type stuff. And I almost even forget that those are like local people who could very well live in my neighborhood.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. And I think that's where you may not realize if it's a small business, just based off appearances only.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you think about how many you probably interact with on a daily basis, right? I mean, hair salons, nail salons, the landscaping, tree services, garage door repair, painting, it's everything. And that
as you named those, I thought of a business every single time.
I totally did too.
Exactly.
And I was like, yeah, those garage door repair people are really brave.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, it's so, I didn't even think about it like that until you're like labeling all of these different businesses, and I'm naming them as you go.
Yep. And each one of those is a small business owner.
What cracks me up though is literally I have like magnets or stickers of small businesses who have done work in my home. And that's the only way I know to call the right person.
Right. You've got one on your electrical box. You've got one on your hot water heater. You've got one on your furnace, right? Each one of those is an example of a local small business owner.
So Jake, you told us about an inspirational story with the daycare. What's another member journey that you are aware of or maybe witnessed at Affinity Plus?
Oh, sure. We've got a small manufacturer here in Minnesota that they purchase fabricated metal pieces, right? As part of their manufacturing process, they go out to get that. And in 2020, COVID hit, right? And as we all know, that shut down a lot of production of goods and services. International trade became almost non-existent. And so they were having a really difficult time getting the fabricated metal pieces that they needed, right? Importing from other countries became non-existent. So they tried to look domestically and locally, but the local markets were so fragmented that they couldn't find a manufacturer that could make the specific pieces that they need in the volume that they needed. And so they're kind of stuck, and they were to a point where they were either going to need to start up their own metal fabrication company, which they weren't really experts in, or they're going to have to look to buy one that already existed. And they lucked out.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, to be faced at your business in that position of like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We can't make the thing that we need to make if we don't have the pieces to make it, and nobody can give us the pieces to make it, right? And so they got really lucky. They found a local metal fabrication company where the owner was looking to sell and retire after 30 years. And they bought it. They retrofitted it to meet the needs of their specific business. And for the first year, the only thing this new company did was produce the specific piece that they needed as part of their manufacturing company. As they kind of got into year 2 after doing this, they were finding other companies that were in a similar situation where they couldn't find metal fabrication services. Still, we're only in 21, 22, so
we're still in COVID.
A lot of the world is still shut down. So other local businesses, local manufacturers that were also having difficulties getting this done. So they started to expand and started to offer metal fabrication, custom metal fabrication for some of these other businesses. As part of that, they needed to invest so they could grow. They had to buy more modern, more new equipment to be able to meet the needs of some of these other businesses. And they started to grow and take on more and more business. Now, here we are. They're in year 4, about to hear year 5 of their new venture. And over 50% of their business actually comes from outside companies that, just a remarkable story of growth and adapting and
resilience.
That's evolution. That's like almost an entirely new business model.
Yeah, kind of talking about how Affinity Plus can be here no matter where you're at in your journey. Just so exciting that we were able to be on that journey with them throughout it as they kind of evolved their entire business model.
That is a complete evolution of a business model.
We'll talk about like if I can't find it, well, I'll just do it, kind of a thing. Yeah. Kind of a situation.
Yep.
I'll just make it.
I'll just do it.
Yeah, I got this. I don't need your help. I got it. But they did need some help, it sounds like, and then they helped others, which is really cool.
They helped others, yeah, and just the journey has been remarkable, and we've been able to be such a solid partner for them. Especially now, even as they look to the future, they're just set for more growth.
That's amazing. And who would have thought that something like that, where it was so challenging at first, especially during COVID, and then to have something so beautiful come out of it and have just such an expansion. Like that's
what, and I think we've hit
on a lot.
We've hit it on a few times now. Like that's what makes small business owners so special is, they don't get to go in and just collect their next paycheck, right? They've got to figure it out, right? On the spot, the world shuts down and they've got to come up with a solution, right? That no one's going to do it for them. They really got to have that go get it attitude and that risk taking attitude, right? Of, well, let's just buy another company and make it work.
And try. Yeah.
And try. Yeah.
And going into it with that mentality and resiliency of, we're going to try this and see what works.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That's a lot of mental resilience, Danielle.
That sure is.
I'm not a good small business owner. I have decided.
Throughout this conversation, you're like,
I enjoy what I do.
Same. Okay, so before we wrap up today, I have a little activity for us. If you could open any small business, what would it be? Like, sky's the limit. Don't worry about funding. Don't worry about, what is the thing that you would do?
Or knowledge, right?
Or, anything.
So I don't have to have a scientific background for mine.
Nope.
All right. I need science. I will need some science.
Well, what is it? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, I need to create something to make the grass still look nice, but not have worms come out of the ground for my dog to roll in. Anything stinky, he is very, very much in tune to and wants to roll in it. So now he gets another bath today because I was informed that he was rolling in more worms.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I don't like that smell.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening out there and you have the answer, Amber needs it.
Yes, please help Captain, my dog, not roll in worms. I would be grateful, very grateful. So Danielle, what would your small business be?
So I don't know exactly what the business would be, but I want to create the next Sweet Martha's cookies because I want to work at the State Fair for 2 weeks, prep for a week before, and then wrap it up the week after. And so I'm working 1 month of the year, and the rest of the time I'm doing whatever I want.
That was like the dream small business of
I know.
just like 1 month a year,
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
30 days. Not
Like,
really, but you know.
I'm sure they work more than that, but like just think of that concept, right?
We're paying the dream tax right now, but Jake, what's your small business?
So mine, and I don't know if this would be like an app or an invention or how it would work, but I would start a business that solves the issue of my 2 teenage daughters fighting over clothes, over makeup, over who's going to do chores, right? Like it divvies it up because, you know, while they're 14 and 11, they're like the same size. They wear the same size clothes.
Oh, yeah.
They like the same makeup. They like the same, you know, facial routines and all that type of stuff. And so the mornings are interesting at my house, right? The fights over who's wearing what shirt on what day, and I was going to wear that today, and I just wore that the other day, and like
They need like the Clueless computer app.
Oh,
And so they can like
yes.
pick the outfit. So then when the next one goes to pick out the outfit, like that top is gone out of the inventory.
out of the inventory. Yeah.
They're going to, that would be fun.
And making sure that they don't like what they're wearing isn't too similar to what the other one's wearing, because then one's copying the other
Literally,
one.
I'm hearing my future because my girls are 9 and 6.
Okay.
And so like my
Yes.
future is like flashing before
I
my
am
eyes.
grateful
So
I never had
Yeah.
sisters. I only have brothers.
if you could invent that like quick,
Yeah.
it would be great.
Got it.
Thank you.
Well, you have some time until her kids are in their teenage
Yeah.
years. Doesn't solve your problem
Right.
today, but gives you a test subject for today.
Well, Jake, thanks so much for coming. It was so good to have you here. It's so good to talk about, you know, the lifeblood of our communities, these small businesses, and how they can, how we can partner with them to help make them more successful, and how we can be there as a resource for them. So thank you so much for coming in and talking about all
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Jake.
Well, thank you for tuning in for this episode of A Plus U. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we will catch you on our next episode, which is the end of May. We'll be talking to our internal expert, Coachy, about our investment center.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Affinity Plus is federally insured by the NCUA.